How much do you bench? Is it over 500?
I put it probably right at like 425, 430.
500 would be insane. is anybody on that level on the team?
Yes, Jalil that just came in.
Oh, yeah.
Nestor, Coop. Yes, sir.
Okay. What about who do you think can put up the most 225 reps if you guys did that?
I feel like it'd be out of me and Jalil.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because everybody said you're the strongest guy on the team. That was the big thing when we talked to the guys at Newcomer Media Day. You're the guy.
Yes, ma'am.
So where does that come from? Is it just, have you always been a big lifting weights kind of guy?
So it started in the 5th grade. A guy by Jamal Crawford back at home, him, B, Brandon Henderson, and Ben. Them guys, they took me under their wing when I was in the 5th grade. It's the YMCA we started at. He got me. He started developing me then with football and training, and it just took off from there. I built them guys ever since.
Rodriguez has talked a lot about taking your strength and turning it into functional as much as you can on the field. So what are some of the keys that he's working with you on that?
Really how to bend and come out with explosion through my hands, running my feet. He's been big with me, like on the money, we call them money makers, getting the feet down, coming out with explosion, not just grabbing it and pulling it up. So he's been big on helping me with that. He's been telling me to get out there early to get it in. It's my fault today. I didn't get there in time to work that, but I'll fix it. I'm gonna fix it the rest of camp and the rest of the time I'm here.
And you showed that in that one rep you had against Ben Scott where you celebrated. What was it like kind of winning that one?
To me, it felt good. It gave me more confidence coming into camp because started spring coming in, learning, got to fluid everything in. I feel like I was pretty slow at it, but now I feel like I'm actually doing better at trying to do what he wanted to do, what he wanted to see on film. And I'll just keep working there and trying to get better at that. So it felt pretty good as a young cat.
Do you feel you made a lot of progress since the spring? Are you pretty happy with what you've learned in the last few months?
Oh, yes, ma'am. The guys, the rest of the D-line did a wonderful job of helping me with run reads on Wednesdays on the offs, Saturdays coming in, doing extra work with them guys. They play a big role in helping me getting developed and get ready for camp.
What's Nestor been like?
He's a wonderful guy. He's funny. I call him my big brother, really. He's like a wing guy, really, to me. I feel like he took me under his wing too. Also, when we got close, I felt like we got a great bond. He's pretty strong too. So we trash talk each other, but it's wonderful because I always wanted like a big brother. Wish I had a big brother also, or a little brother, and I feel like I'm his little brother, and he's like my big brother.
Are there any tips that he's kind of been giving you?
Oh yes, sir. So he's a power guy. I am, like you see. So he can teach me how to use power and everything, how to really be fluent with it, referring it from pass rush and then run. So he's been helping me out a lot with that and giving me tips to help me out.
If Nesta's your big brother, then what does that make Shannon Foreman, who you had a pretty close relationship with in the spring as he got you right?
Oh yeah, him also. Yeah. I'll put him as a big brother too. Really, all the guys, the whole D-line is big brothers. So it's just great having all of them and calling them my big brother. Because like I said, I was one of the big brothers that played the game and can teach me the game. Because I always just had like a dad and coaches back at home, uncles that taught me. So now it's good to have really a big brother that can really teach me and show me the game.
Plus, Nestor's from the South.
Yes, sir.
You're from the South. Everybody's from the South. That you guys ever talk about like stuff related to kind of your familiarity from back south? Is it different than guys out here who grew up out here?
Yeah, so back home, I can say the thing is much like guys back in the South much bigger. Like we all pretty strong and big. Here it's like it's big and strong, but it's like you see 14-year-olds back at home, 13-year-olds probably like 6 foot, about 280. They can bench press about like 225 already. So it's just like different.
You had mentioned, I think, in the spring that you were thinking about maybe trying to lose some weight to get even more agile. Did you continue with that, or did you talking with Rob? Like, what is a good sort of weight for you?
So I went up to about 325. I just want to see how I move at it. I feel more fluent with it now, but I'm still working to get down to about at least 305. Right now I'm at like 320,
Okay.
319. So if I can get down about that weight about week 1, I feel pretty more confident about moving side to side and up the field.
Okay. What's what you guys talked about as far as like the potential to play this year?
We really much haven't talked about play. Just go out there, practice, do my best, and let them guys upstairs make that decision.
Sure. What do you think about just the D-line overall and as potential?
Oh, it's gonna be crazy. This season's gonna be fun to watch us. This D-line, you got Omar, BJ, Nestor, TJ, Mike too is cool. Like Joe Moore, I heard like just from hearing Coach Rod, the progress he done made, it's gonna be crazy to watch. I especially say Joe Moore. It's gonna be crazy to watch him. Garen Stansberry, I feel like this season's gonna be like this breakout. Like everybody's gonna know who Garen and Joe is.
What's that do when you have that kind of depth and then young guys who have been developing like the way they have?
It's great. Like
It's definitely.
you can't do nothing but congratulate them because they've been working hard also. And it's just gonna be great to watch them succeed and do big things.
Who was the team you grew up rooting for, like growing up in South Carolina? Who was your favorite team?
I'd say TCU is Texas Christian University.
Why not? You're from South Carolina, though.
Yeah, I was just always a big fan of the head coach that was there. So I always been a fan of them since I was younger. And then also South Carolina, because we had DJ, he was on that team. He played at Greenwood High back in so I was a big fan of them. I was always a big Clowney fan. Lattimore, Smalls, the quarterback. I was just a big fan of them guys, so I always watched them guys.
Appreciate you, man.
Thanks.
Yes, sir. Anytime.
Robbie, when Coach Rod kind of like singles you out at practice and says like, Robbie, if you learn to marry your explosion with everything else, like you could be an unstoppable force. Like, do you believe that? You know, like what is it like having someone, you know, say that in front of all the defensive linemen?
It makes me feel good. Like it makes me in my head, to be honest, it makes me say, I gotta get this. Because you got a coach that coached in the NFL, that came to the college level to coach, and soon gonna go back to the NFL. It just means a lot for him to say that. So it makes me think I gotta do more on my part to get what he wants, and to see that change on the film room and on the field, so I'll be able to play. You know, but like right now though, I know like I'm still developing in it. I feel like when I get that down, then you think, you know, this guy's ready. But until then, I just gotta wait my time and keep progressing with the technique he's getting.
Coach, how did your recruitment come about to end up here?
It was actually funny. It was a little process. You know, I had a couple schools looking at me and stuff like that, but I kind of sort of had prolonged basically making a commitment to somewhere. I just thought, you know, the best system, the best scheme that would fit around me and my play style, and, you know, I think here is probably my best option.
Has it hit you yet that you're going to be playing Power 5 football this season?
I'll probably say not yet. I'd probably give it like 2 more weeks, or probably like coming close to the game day and stuff like that. But you know, I just try to take everything like day by day. I mean, even just walking around the facility and stuff like that, I'm still a little shocked as, you know, seeing everything, because even coming from the school I came from, we didn't have as much options as we did.
I imagine it's a pretty different facility here than where you're used to.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we got the bubble, you got a field, and you got another field, so, you know, it's definitely different. It's definitely different.
What about just being a guy from the East Coast and landing in Arizona? What have been your impressions of Arizona?
Definitely different. I guess like the heat is definitely different. I'm used to, you know, humid. Sometimes it can get a little cold later at night, but, you know, at nighttime it's still a little hot. So I say like, you know, the weather and stuff like that, but also the people. Great people out here. I mean, you know, East Coast is known as more aggressive, up-tempo and stuff like that, but everybody more laid back, cool.
We've heard a lot about your speed. Have you guys raced? Who's the fastest on the team?
No, we haven't raced yet.
What do you think?
I mean, I'm gonna say me, because, you know, I'm just go ahead and boost myself. But we definitely got some fast dudes on the team, though, that could definitely give me a run for my money.
Who else impresses you with your speed?
Let's see. You got DJ Taylor. badge, you know, I think he got a little speed to him. You know, once he kick it in gear and stuff like that. I'd probably say them two for right now.
And what was your best 100-meter time on the track?
Sure, I probably had to say maybe like high school. I had maybe ran like a 10.8. I know once I had got like later into college and stuff like that, I wasn't really focusing on my running events. I did field events as well, so I had more so focused on my field events.
How did you end up D2? Like, what happened going out of high school or whatever? Do you think you just got stuck on, or?
I mean, it could be that as well, but I know, I guess most schools, because I thought, you know, I had talent to play at the highest level. It's always been my dream to play at the highest level. I mean, I want to push the next level as well, but even just playing at the highest level, I know I had a couple schools like D2, D3 that was looking at me and stuff like that, but you know, just listening to my mom and stuff like that, she always boosted me, so it's just like, why settle when you can just push yourself? So I know I had to stay home, maybe for a semester and stuff like that. You know, I was working, helping my mom out and stuff like that. And then that's when I had got an opportunity to play at my last school, and then, you know, just been running since.
So where's your game sort of developed most, like the last couple of years then?
That's a good question.
How have you seen yourself evolve as a player?
I have to say probably just growing with the game. You know, the game doesn't really change at all when you go up. It's just, you know, having the IQ, because, you know, everything, you can have the physical attributes and stuff like that, but when it comes to your mindset, you know, you got to be more mentally prepared than, you know, actually physically prepared. So just going up with the levels, making sure I'm locked in and stuff like that, even when it comes to play call, doing practice, workouts and stuff like that, making sure, you know, everything's straight.
What were some of those jobs that you had as you were working?
I know I had worked at UPS. I had worked, it was like the seasonal, I want to say it's like the seasonal handler and stuff like that. So I was on the trucks with a couple of people, and then maybe sometimes I did like overtime hours at the warehouse, and, you know, I was working overnight and stuff like that. But then I know I had got another job working on the truck through my brother and stuff like that, and so I did that for a little bit.
Does that kind of make you appreciate being out here, knowing how the hard work you put in there?
Oh, absolutely. You know, there's some days that, you know, I was probably working maybe, well, you got 24 hours in a day, I'm probably working 13 hours. And, you know, sometimes, you know, you always got to get a workout in, you got to get something in to make sure you're prepared for whoever calls and stuff like that. So I know, like, sometimes working those long hours and stuff like that, you know, still keeping your mindset in it, like, you know, you still got things to do, so just doing what you got to do, work and stuff like that, and then making sure you're handling yourself to be ready.
What do you think about Emory?
Emory, cool dude, very cool dude. Well spoke, you know, spent a little hype around him, you know, ready to see him, just, you know, ready to play with him.
What's the potential for this offense and passing game?
You know, we want to just come out there and kick everybody, but, you know, we just want to take every play, one rep at a time, play fast, know what you got to do, just go out there and win every rep.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it.
Because it's a constant grind for me, mentally and physically, to have skills at both positions.
Do you have a preference as far as which position on the line you prefer?
I've said it before, and my favorite position's on the field. I mean, I'm not really picky of where I want to be or need to be. As long as they need me somewhere, I'll be there in a heartbeat, whether it's left side, right side, or right down in the middle. As long as I'm on the field, just kind of helping out.
What do you thought about just kind of the O-line, D-line battles that are kind of taking place now the last couple of weeks?
They've been awesome. I think it's fantastic to have that level of competition between all the guys. It forces us to want to get better, and I mean, it forces them to get better because they're winning their reps, and we're seeing our mistakes, and we go straight into the film room and correct them, and come back out the next day and hopefully master our craft and avoid the mishaps that we had. It just kind of then gives us the ability to kind of make them want to get better because they see that we evolved our game, and it's just kind of a big game of evolution.
Robert Rodriguez has been, 3 years, I guess, at ASU now, so he's been developing those guys. Can you, as an offensive lineman, can you kind of see that some of the guys are having a little bit more sort of technical understanding or proficiency to what they're doing as a result of that, versus somebody who's kind of inheriting a bunch of new guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every offensive lineman has different skill sets, and it's very clear what their skill sets are. I mean, it's awesome to see. I mean, to have an offensive line that's full of different characters that are able to do certain things, I think that just makes our offense that much better because we can pick and choose where we put people and kind of the plays that we run to help balance out where we go.
Who's been kind of tricky to handle on the D-line?
I mean, all of them. They all have their specific skill sets, and they all have their moments. I mean, they all hone in on that one move that they work all summer, and then they hit it, and then it's like, okay, now I have to go back to the drawing board and figure out what's my best opportunity against that move. But like I said, every D lineman's great. I mean, they all love to compete. They have a lot of depth, and they're really grinding to get out in that field. And I mean, their competition to want to be better is making us better as an offensive line.
Within that competition, I asked Coach Edwards about, obviously once you get pads on, things get a little more chippy, so the talking goes up a little bit. So if you're winning a battle, I mean, are you guys as a line kind of letting the defensive line know, get under their skin a little?
We do a little bit. I mean, like I said, it's an individual thing. For the majority, most of us, we just kind of handle our business, and we just kind of look at them like, hey, business is business, man. We just handled you like that. We don't really talk unless it's needed. We just this kind of goes back to the whole thing of being an offensive line. It's like being a mushroom. We're in the dark, get fed bull crap. No one really likes to pay attention to us, and we feed off of just kind of being hidden. So, I mean, we just kind of handle our business like men and go upon it like that.
What have the offensive line improved on as you guys have gone against the D line now for 3 straight practices?
Well, the quick twitchiness of our D line is just fantastic. I mean, it's really hard to handle. It's going to be a handful for the other team. So I think them having the ability to move laterally on us has really improved our game because it's sped up our eyes and IDing backers and noticing rotations and even noticing stance differences. So I think that's how it's evolved our play.
And then when I talked to Coach Cavanaugh, I mean, and you alluded to it before, I mean, guys, you can come in and pretty much play every position on the line. Other guys are moving, and they're not just going to another spot from their normal spot, but they're dominant in it. When you can do that as an offensive line, and guys like you come in and are dominant, how much of an advantage does it give you, and how tough is it for a defense to prep for something like that?
I think it's game changing. I think all the linemen should have the ability to jump around at every single position because you never know what's going to happen. Everyone's one snap away. So, I mean, learning every position is definitely very crucial to an offensive lineman. And I think having the ability that I have to where I can play literally anywhere, it's definitely advanced my game because it's forced me to get into the rooms more. I mean, I've met with coaches even when no one's even here. I just ask them, like, hey, you got some minute? I want to go over some film. I really want to hammer down on this playbook. So wherever position I'm at, I know exactly what I'm doing. And I think for a team to prepare against someone that can go left, right, center, all that, I think that it'll definitely have them thinking a little bit harder because they don't know the techniques that every other position. Because throughout the season, you'll see an offensive lineman consistently have the same technique to where, as an offensive lineman that's jumping side to side, I think that really changes up their game and makes the defensive coaches have to think a little bit harder about it.
How have you managed going between the first and second O-line? I noticed on Saturday you were working with both groups, so how have you kind of managed that, both, kind of perseverance through practice and your mentality as well through that?
I just see it as an opportunity. I mean, I don't see it as, I got to go back-to-back reps. I just see it as an opportunity to get better. I mean, I don't complain about it. It's at least I'm on the field. That's all I really cared about, is just, as long as I can take those reps. I mean, I'm from here, know how to handle the heat, and worked construction for a couple of years with my family, so the heat's not really an issue to me. As long as I can get some water, I'll be straight.
Joey Ramos, the pride of Deer Valley High School. He wore 88, the powder blue for the Skyhawks. What's it like being a Sundown?
It's fantastic, man. It's a dream come true, definitely. I mean, get to be home in my home state, rep everything home, just kind of have my family right down the street. It's fantastic. I'm glad I'm here.
Coach Edwards talked about your versatility in practice. What does that give you? What kind of advantage do you have being so versatile that you can play different positions?
I think it gives me a really good advantage just all across the field. I mean, the ability to learn every single position and handle all my business in a different manner when it comes to playing different positions is definitely crucial to my game. And I think that's what really advances my game as an offensive lineman, just having the ability to go left, right, center, and know exactly what I'm doing.